Maybe the reason you're frustrated isn't because God said no. Maybe he simply hasn't said no yet. We live in a generation that expects everything instantly. Food arrives in minutes. Messages are delivered in seconds. So when God doesn't move as quickly as we'd like, we begin to wonder if he has forgotten us. But maybe God's silence isn't rejection. Maybe it's preparation. One of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that waiting means God isn't working. But throughout Scripture, God's greatest miracles were often preceded by long seasons of waiting. Waiting has never been God's way of punishing his people. It's often his way of preparing them. Waiting is uncomfortable because it forces us to surrender control. We like knowing when things will happen. We like having a plan. We like certainty. But faith doesn't grow in certainty. Faith grows when we choose to trust God without knowing the outcome. Sometimes God could answer your prayer today. He has the power, yet he waits. Not because he enjoys seeing you struggle, but because he's doing something inside you that couldn't happen if everything came instantly. Character is built in waiting. Dependence on God is built in waiting. Think about Hannah. For years, she prayed for a child. Year after year, nothing changed. She watched other women become mothers while she carried the pain of unanswered prayers. But here's what I love about Hannah's story. She didn't stop bringing her pain to God. She kept showing up. She kept praying. She kept trusting. And when God finally answered, he gave her Samuel, a son who would become one of Israel's greatest prophets. Imagine what those years felt like. Every family gathering, another child running around. Every celebration, another reminder of what she didn't have. Every year, she probably wondered, God, did you hear me? Did I do something wrong? Have you forgotten me? Yet every time those questions filled her heart, Hannah returned to God instead of walking away from him. Her circumstances didn't change overnight, but her faith remained. Maybe your Hannah season isn't about having a child. Maybe you've sent out 50 job applications and heard nothing. Maybe you've prayed for your marriage every single night. Maybe you've asked God to heal someone you love. Maybe you've cried yourself to sleep wondering why everyone else seems to be moving forward while you're standing still. If that's you, don't measure God's faithfulness by your timeline. Whatever you're waiting for, don't mistake God's delay for God's absence. Just because you can't see him working doesn't mean he isn't. Some of God's best work happens in the waiting. If you're in a season of waiting today, don't let disappointment convince you that God has forgotten your name. Sometimes the blessing you're praying for isn't just about you being prepared. It's God preparing you, and one day you look back and realize something surprising. The greatest miracle wasn't just what God gave you. It was who you became while you were waiting. The waiting taught you to pray. It taught you to trust. It taught you to depend on God when nothing around you made sense. Sometimes the blessing isn't delayed because God is absent. It's delayed because God refuses to give you something before the right season. God's timing has never been late. It has always been perfect. And when the right time comes, you'll understand why he asked you to wait. If this message encouraged your heart today, please take a moment to like this video. Share it with someone who may need this reminder. And subscribe for more faith-filled messages to strengthen your walk with God. Thank you for watching, and may God richly bless you.